Hello and welcome to this. Well, I suppose it's a monologue. I hope people comment and we can have a discussion. This video talking about the future of Need for Speed Unbound, and I want to focus primarily on online mode, just because it's probably the one that matters for the future, because story mode's complete. And yeah, so there's a bit of plenty of division, plenty of different commentary, and issues on PC with crashes, issues with people not happy with the limited amount of content in online. So just having the sprint races, no drifting and no police and all that sort of stuff, no nighttime. Um, and then we've got, the Twitter stuff. So Need for Speed, it's Twitter, saying there's an upcoming series of post-launch updates and experience packs, as well as free access to new modes, social features, and progression for Electronic Online. The first update will focus on expanding social play features, and future updates will bring new modes and features, cars, customers, agent content, and more. Stay tuned for more details for future Need for Speed Unbound content. For now, check out all the newsroom, and I don't know why they did it, but they linked to their official website, and their official website has nothing. It's like got stuff from the 9th of December, and this Twitter post is the 16th. So I don't really understand why they link to a website which has no information whatsoever. But yeah, so the point is we're just getting started on Lakeshore, and you can expect more updates from us near the end of January. So, and following that, we also have, so near the end of January, they'll do some updates. Now, whether they do updates before that, it's possible. I'm not going to discount that as a notion, because, it's certainly possible. Now, they did lose some staff, some key staff, so they left after the release of the game. So that happens, people release a game, it's a lot of hard work and crunch and all that stuff, and then they don't want to be there anymore, and they leave. And that's, always worrying. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll have a repeat of previous incidents, but you never know. So what I wanted to focus on is the updates being the end of January. I understand. I'm not an idiot. Sorry, I'll clarify that. I understand the Christmas break and a lot of game development and normal company, all companies taking a break over Christmas, and that's totally reasonable. But that said, you release a game near Christmas and you're going to have that inevitable sort of break. And in this situation, and I call it a situation because there's just a lack of content, they've released a game with a lack of content on purpose for the, say, Christmas period. I don't know if the game will even really. So there's plenty of positivity though, which is a good thing. Positivity around the game is great. I don't know where exactly it's. I mean, it's Need for Speed. So of course, it's fun. It's racing, but it's missing a lot of stuff. The same lineup of cars from Heat and all that sort of stuff. I'm worried. All right. Want it on record. Want it in a video. Look at the golf course. I used to love the golf course in Most Wanted. That was so sick. Being chased by the cops on the golf course was one of my favorite things. No cop chases here. Yeah. I'm worried the game will be dead by the time they update it. So again, you may say, oh, well then when they say updates by the end of January, they'll probably have an update soon, in the week, and then they'll have updates, all the way through, and then a big update. Or they could just mean literally just one update, a big update at the end of January. And I think the game's going to be dead by then. I think the game's almost in that sort of state now. I mean, okay. Let's put it. This game is not Forza Horizon or Forza 5. This isn't Forza. And Forza's much better. I mean, compared to this, Forza's much better. Now, the one thing that Need for Speed has always had going for it is the cop system. But with the way the story mode is, a bit more punishing in that regard. Later on, of course. Yeah, not having the cops in online, you're taking away all the strengths of the game by releasing it unfinished. Because that's the only way you can really put it, is the game is unfinished. Because if there's significant aspects that are going to be added, then the game is unfinished. You know, no drifting, no drag races, no takeover events, all stuff that's in, and no bots, no AI you can race against in online, even though they're ridiculously hard to beat in story mode at times. On the hardest difficulty, they're quite challenging. I saw also people wanted to turn off the visual effects. Want an option to turn that off, which I think is totally reasonable. You know, it's kind of the style of the game. It's the only thing that makes it, you know, I get that in the blocky cars. And the handling change, you know, trying to make the game distinct, and if you turn that off, you're taking away that sort of distinction. Maybe the devs don't want you to do that, which is understandable, but again, they've got to understand the player. And I can't see new people coming in and having that much fun when you've got to grind. You've got to grind for good cars before you can compete. Like, I grinded for this, and then I'm racing against a Bugatti Chevron, and then I'm just getting obliterated, and I have no chance of winning. So imagine, you know, you're in the rent-a-car, and you get smashed by the Bugatti Chevron in an S-Plus race. It's really jack shit you can do. You just got to grind. There's so much grinding in this game, and I don't know why they haven't done limited time events. I don't know why they haven't got in online, you know, a 5 race championship with, you know, with 100 grand up for the winner. 100 grand or 200 grand. Things, I feel like there's so many things you can do that don't require a tremendous amount of work. And that's also giving cars for winning races, giving an option of a car, doing the side bet system they got in story mode in online. Just betting it all, really. AI, racing AI and online. There's so much that I feel like, so much of it's a no-brainer. So much stuff they're going to add when they add it, hopefully before the end of January. But if it's at the end of January, so much stuff they'll add that'd be like, well, that should have been in the game from launch. It would be like, people will be going on Twitter going, oh, I'm so glad they gave us the update, they gave us this content. I'm like, well, they should have already given it that. Why did they release the game without it? What is I don't understand. Well, I do understand, of course. They forced the game out. You crunch the teams and all that sort of stuff. And then you needed to let them rest, and then they quit. And then you get the same old issues. They just go, oh, there's no one playing the game. There's no point doing updates for it. Or some games where they keep doing updates even though there's a small base of players. And they do. And it really is so much about heart and soul at the end of the day. And, you know, there's a bit of a heart out there, a bit of a love out there for, you know, Criterion and all that sort of stuff. But where is it in the game at the minute? Just at the minute. I mean, you can do one update, and just go, we've added bot racing into online. So if you start a race, can't fill all the spots, the AI will fill the remaining spots, and they'll be in the rent-a-car. And what will the difficulty be? They'll be normal difficulty. Or mixed. You can have some that are low difficulty, some that are medium, some that are hard. Again, mixed difficulty thing, yeah, that always gets people in and out. But I think that's the way to go. And then you could race the bots, get some good money. You get the multiplier up, but maybe not as much as actual players. So you can sort of compensate for that. So people can't just... Or then maybe they can. Why not let them grind against bots? What is the problem? I feel like there's a sort of there's a major mistake in the game development. What's wrong with people having good cars, and why does it have to be so hard to get them? Just takes time, just, you know, just do more races, all that sort of stuff. I don't know, it's such a chore. And so, you know, a lot of this is comments and stuff that I have read, and even on my own stuff, so, and discussions I've had. So I'm, you know, if I could talk to the devs, if they did watch, you know, do something. And no, they're on Christmas break. They can't do anything. You know, updates, I hate to break it to you, updates are planned and scheduled in advance, months in advance. Games release and the updates are all pre-planned and they will release. They've set them to release. You don't have to freaking go in there. There's not a guy writing the next one and then, oh, it comes out the next day. They're working on the ones in the future. Now, if they're working on this update for this end of January now, we've got troubles. Because they should have... kind of the planning here is it takes a long time to do updates for games. So you need to do them in advance. So you'd be working on them prior to release. You're working on your first updates, second updates, third updates, fourth updates. And depending on the game, of course, ones with multiplayer and online servers and things, they have to do this. And you look at balancing and they'll look at, you know, maybe there'll be slight adjustments and they'll look at the races and go, wait a second, it's, you know, the rent-a-car's useless. Let's bump up the rent-a-car. Let's give them a better car for the rent-a-car. Just for, you know, the new players. Give them some sort of something. But then if it's too powerful, then you have to change it. So any changes at all, you know, matter. And again, communication is key. The Twitter is, it's, you know, end of January. As soon as I heard that, my heart was like, the game's going to die before then. I'm like, oh, people will be like, oh, this is the best Need for Speed in ages and all this stuff. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. It's different. Story mode online is missing so much. There's a pressure in the story mode because I'm on the hardest difficulty. There's a pressure that I don't... That's why I want going on online, because I don't want to feel that pressure. But then there's nothing to do. I've got an S Plus car. I don't want to grind for the freaking Bugatti, and everyone's in the freaking Bugatti and S Plus, and everyone's in freaking 400 plus. Goddamn Bugatti. You know. So I got to get an S car, and I got to get an A plus, and I've got an A plus, and oh, they got to get an A, and that the B car, oh, my B car's shit, and then oh, I try a different B car. I just want, you know, I want cops. Cop chases. Cop chases used to be such a huge part of Need for Speed. I feel like, even in the story mode, they're a chore. There's no, like, the reward for doing them isn't so good. So this is kind of where, you know, you need a certain amount of heat to do certain races. It's just ridiculous. But, like, the risk reward in Need for Speed Heat with having the cops was, you know, you're doing the good races to get the awesome ultimate equipment and all that sort of stuff. And it just, I don't know, it felt better, more dynamic. But, and then in the online, you could just, you know, drive around and do all sorts of crazy shit. People being chased by cops, and you just, you know, oh, look, that guy's being chased by the cops. And, you know, you have that sort of, there's more action. And of course, you know, this is what happens when you release a game that's incomplete. That's rushed or poorly timed. They could have released, you know, I mean, it's all on a schedule. I know they agree and all that sort of stuff. But that said, it's poor. Oh, God. Yes, let's do it. I'm disappointed. And I understand the timing puts pressure and you can't have people working over their holidays, and that's totally understandable. But the game is in not a best state. And I feel like they haven't given the game the best chance to survive and thrive. Separating the story mode and online allows you to do things like, you know, online mode free. So it's just the Countach, okay. They've got a chance. But yeah, having the online mode separate, you can do that as free. You can freaking... There's not much in it. You could release it for free right now. I know that's, say, a big thing and people want to charge $70 for the game. You could just do it for free. Free weekend. Trial weekend. You could just do the trial stuff where it's only available for a certain amount of time. People come in and play, and they'll probably just play it out and never play it again because of the lack of content, and you can go, oh, wait a second. Maybe it isn't that good. Racing other people's always sort of fun unless you're getting obliterated. Yeah, so I want to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think the game's going to die? Do you think it'll survive? Ouch, that's not good. My race is done. Fuck's sake. Make a mistake like that and the race is over. So a big part of there being a skill curve, or is it, you know, new players, if they haven't played Need for Speed before, even if they just haven't played this game before and haven't got the mix of drift and driving down, or they make one little mistake or a car comes out of nowhere, for some reason parks in the middle of the road, which happens a lot, the race is over. And it's really, you know, impossible to catch up. Now, I made that mistake, it was my fault. Should be punished. Yep, should come last. Just poor driving. Poor, shitty driving. But yeah, back to, you know, what are your thoughts? Do you think the game will die? Do you think it'll have any steam left? So we're talking about end of January. Honestly, like February and June, there's a lot of games coming out. So, you know, we're talking big games. So Hogwarts and all sorts of stuff. Harry Potter game and all that. Different genres, of course, but I don't know. I don't think the game has the staying power. I don't think it has the life, the energy to sustain itself until the end of January and then have a resurgence and they'll be like, oh, we finally got a drifting to that. People were like, what? That wasn't in the game at release? What are you guys doing? It's just... I feel like it's... everything that's going to happen from here on, every update's going to be just looked at as like, from the outside, what are they doing? They didn't plan this all beforehand? No, I won't be able to talk while I concentrate. No, I will be able to talk. Or do you think I'm being harsh? Do you think I'm just being mean? You know? Just negatively criticizing a game that I purchased and played early access and gave a fair income go and spent the money on and have every right to criticize. No. You know, you just got to give it a chance. Give them months and months. Look at No Man's Sky. Give them years. Years and years. Every game. Give it years before it's any good. Don't worry about when it's released. Don't worry about there being hardly anyone playing it. And those that do play it go, oh, it's too bloody harsh. Oh, holy frick. That guy at the front, he's flying. Oh, until he had that accident. Okay, if I have an accident, I'm done. Oh no. So yeah, don't crash. Don't worry about games. You're not the developer. You don't know how hard it is. Oh, fuck off. My race is done. I understand game development is very difficult. I also understand that you release a game incomplete, you can be criticised for it, and then you can destroy... oh, what little bloody hype you had. Which was such a late... it was so late they marketed the game. It was very strange, the nature of the release. So, you know, they rushed it the last couple months of its marketing and all that stuff. Oh, fuck off. And they put themselves in this position, and then really they should have released this game, you know, February or June next year. Do I have sympathy? Sure. Do you have sympathy? I buy a game, you hope it's got everything, it hasn't got everything, and then they say they'll have everything a couple of months later. 2 months later, they'll have, all the stuff will be there. And then the game's dead, and you're like, oh. Moved on to something else. They go, oh, you're not a diehard, you gotta stick with it. I'm like, well, you know, spent the money, it's as diehard as you can be. in reality. You give it a chance, you spend money, you drive terribly, you crash your car a million times. Yeah. So also the bit of discussion about the cars not carrying over, but the cars you win in the car with the races with the car as a prize do carry over, but they don't have any of the attachments, any of the equipment stuff. Any of the modifications they just carry over, so you can sell them. You do get money when you rank up. So once you get to rank 30, you get like 150,000. No, 250,000. 150,000? 150,000. So, if you do rank up heaps, you get a bit of money from that. So that's probably the best way to save up lots of money. Oh, piss off. What the frick? Why am I suddenly... Okay, I don't know what that happened, but it happened. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me I'm being ridiculous. The game is not dead. It's not going to die before then. It'll survive. There'll be another little update. They'll add drifting in an update against bots or something. Or they'll have like a leaderboard thing, and whoever gets the best score on the drift circuit for every hour wins $100,000 or something, and people have to make drift cars, and they'll bring drifting back into it. They'll have a drag race system. They won't have a drag race system. Drag racing is dead. No, that's completely dead. I don't think there's any point even arguing that. So he's in the Zonda. Okay. And 17, all the money you win is just way too little amount. Should be doubled. And again, you could double that. That's not a hard thing to do. Doubling the amount of money people win in all the races. This bit here is sort of... So yeah, this has been me ranting and raving. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is Need for Speed dead? Need for Speed Unbound dead already? Or is it just going to be sort of have a slow, sort of committed player base, and they'll be happy with whatever, and then they'll just put up with it and get all the cars, and then when you finally get new players, they come in and then they get obliterated because everyone else has all these cars, and it's just like they're not fun to grind to catch up, and then they'll suddenly add like ways to make it easier, and then all the people who grinded a long time will be upset. The people who come in the game, new players can come in and get a good car easy, and they didn't have to grind, and then they'll be upset that the devs have learned from hurting other people and sacrificed them for their own amusement. And you have that sort of when you have systems in place to force people to play a game in such a way, and you don't give them the options to play drifting, you don't give them the options to do cop chases to get rewards for that. Can I drive out that middle thing? I want to see if I can drive out that. Yeah, then what do you expect? What do you expect? Oh, let's go up here. Okay, that's right. So yeah, what do you think? I'm just driving around now, stuffing around. I'm going to exit and play something else. It's kind of how I play Need for Speed Unbound. You know, play it for a little bit, maybe, and then, no, forgot it. All right, so that'll do. I've talked enough. Talked about Twitter. Talked about some of the thoughts in the community. People saying there are people who are positive, who are happy with the game and think it's the best Need for Speed ever, and all this sort of stuff. And you know, that's nice. That's nice of them. They're kind people. Just when they're playing something else in a little while, they'll forget all about Need for Speed Unbound, and that's entirely the developer's fault. You got a chance here. Limited opportunity. Every game on release has like a limited window. I'll give you another example. Callisto Protocol. They should have had New Game Plus on release. They should have had a lot of stuff on release. But, they should have had this. So many games would be so much more successful if they had more little additions after release. So you have your release, your day one update, because you need to, have that sort of extra part added because you can't have them people playing the box version of the game because then you have piracy and all that jargon. And then you have your first week, maybe. I think that's fair. And then you get you get an update. So you time it. These things can be planned years in advance. Every game takes years to make. You can take these things into account. And then you can add things. And then people go, oh my goodness, they're doing stuff. The game's alive. And then the game is alive. And they go, oh, and then they little changes here and there, even little bloody small updates. I know the PlayStation and console they have to approve these little updates, but you could do little ones just to make people feel like, oh, they're addressing issues. Lots of games do this. They do, and they get little bug fixes here and there, and people go, oh, what does that actually do? And they go, they never explained it. Maybe it's just some little innocuous thing here and there, but they go, oh, there's someone working on it, someone thinking about it, someone's doing something. And then you get this. People just want to race in their goddamn freaking 400 plus power cars. You can't compare. Why isn't there a power thing plus 400 so you can see the difference between you and the other cars? Even then, the power level doesn't even matter because it's the car setup and what you upgrade that matters. There's a lot of this, actual knowing about cars that the game doesn't really teach you at all, which is understandable. But at the same time, you should teach people. You should always teach them. They've got a wealth of knowledge they can teach. Many car games. They can't learn from their old ones. But yeah, I've sort of droned on and on and on. My monotone Australian accent. Tell me what you think. Do you think the game's dead? Do you think the game will survive until January? Or you think there'll be an update before then? And you think, oh, you're just being ridiculous. And there's an update tomorrow. If there is, I'm happy that there is. If it's something good. If it's not, I'm not worried about it. If they come out, release an update, and then they go, oh, first place, 22,000. That's way too much. And you only win $1. Well, you'll be happy then. You can grind some more. Every race gives you $1 if you win, and no dollars if you lose. Oh, that's good grinding. Yeah. And the devs quitting, if you care about that as well, that's other thing if you want to talk about that in the comments. Whether you think that actually is massively annoying, and like what happened with Heat. A heap of people quitting and then it just gone to shit. Post that. But that said, I thought the game was still better. In a lot of ways. The world in this is just so boring. Yeah. And it's not really open world, so it doesn't have that. They haven't flattened it in a way that, Forza does. So it's kind of like, I feel like people playing this, saying it's good. I'm like, have you ever played Forza Horizon? And Forza 5? Forza, have you played them? Because they feel so different. And the way they're done is different. that, you know, they got a similar power system, of course, but it's not quite the same. And you got off-road as well. We got the off-road stuff that there's none. So much missing. And you just say, oh, you collect all the collectibles. That's the fun thing. Shut up. Yeah, I've gone on way too long. Why am I keep going? This'll do. This is the optimum length. Like and dislike. Tell me what you think. The game is dying. I think that's a fair thing. You say, oh, look at the Steam numbers. He's, you know, crashing on PC and shit. Oh, people customizing the cars. That's the fun part. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Just go to Gran Turismo 7, customize your cars. Or any other car game, customize your cars. I don't give a shit. Go to GTA and customize your car. Yeah, so many of the cars are shit, and they'll never help you win a race, ever. Yeah, so there's a lot of, I mean, all the big, you know, the big truck things that are, you know, really only for off-road stuff, and there's no off-road races, and yeah. People leaving all the time. They got stuff to do. Car destruction in this game is stupid. So yeah, if you think the game's happy and bright, vibrant and there's lots of people online, there's 10 on this server. Holy shit, 10! And the whole maximum 16 people on a server thing, I always get kind of like, this map isn't that big. I mean, there's lots that you can't go in, and could you have more people? Could you have a 32-person server? You know, that's a whole other issue. Let's not talk about that. But yeah. Where are the big races? 16 car races. You know, mass races like, you know, freaking Riders Republic. Oh god. That's another example of filling the world with bots. You can just fill the entire game with a whole bunch of fake dudes all around the world driving around making it seem like it's alive. They could do that. Surprised that other games don't learn from that. It has its negatives, but positives too. But yeah. I've just been rambling on and on and on. If you're at this point in the video, like and subscribe. I can say it at this point. Like, dislike, and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it, honestly. Yeah. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I'll have a provocative title, this video, without being that provocative. I mean, it sort of is provocative. I hope it's provocative. Get some goddamn attention to the game and people go, oh, it's already dying. Yeah, but I don't understand the reviews, and I'm like, what the freaking hell are they talking about? But yeah. Oh, there's something here. I'm gonna get it. Is it a bear? Oh, there it is. Build a bear. Where's the snow? Are they going to add snow for Christmas? Nope. Bit late for that. That'd be nice. Add some freaking snow to the world. Oh, when someone we're not allowed, eh? Eh? So yeah, that'll do. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm done. Yeah, Need for Speed Unbound. It's already dying. Let's be frank. Oh, stupid EA play shit. So yeah, I'll catch you next time. Frosty510, like and subscribe. Bye bye. Yeah. Comment. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm happy to hear it. Tell me I'm right. Happy to hear it. So yeah.